When you get into model building, you want to have somewhere where you can display your models. I've got here my little display case. It's 16 inches square. It's got 4 glass shelves. I've got potential to put another 2 glass shelves in if I can get them, buy them, together with one shelf at the bottom. It's got a little LED light at the top, which I've got on a timer, and it displays my model. So I can sit here and I can look and enjoy my creativity and as to what I've done. Let's get these models out and take a closer look, shall we? Now I'm going to go through these basically in the order that they were made. This is the very first model that I ever made. It has an ordinary piece of board down here, huge amount of resin, and I had pre-sprayed with some sparkle emerald paint down here. Got a little orchid, which was obviously a fabric orchid, and a few plastic bits and pieces, and put my butterfly. Butterflies are the easiest to get started with. They're only half a dozen parts. They're real simple, and you can paint I painted the body on down here, and he's been put into kind of a real life situation. Now, of course, this was a disaster in terms of the resin pour. All the resin leaked out the bottom, and I had a whole bunch of resin just pouring out, which was kind of crazy. No matter what I did, it just continues to leak. If you don't make it leak proof, which is why after that I said, no, I'm not going to make my own molds. I'm going to buy the pre-made silicone resin molds, and that's what I did, and I have no problems since. So I've actually got another butterfly. Here he is, my little red admiral, which is going to look really nice. He's going to be about here. So we're going to have 2 butterflies on this diorama together. So that's my first effort. And, ooh, what's this? Well, this is my little praying mantis, which I made. This was my number 2. Again, only half a dozen parts, not a lot to it, and fairly big. But the head is kind of complex. There's a little bit of twisting down there. You've got to put the eyes in and mold those together in kind of a roundel. And of course, each of these body segments has to be curved and then put in the correct order. I managed to actually get the legs on upside down. How I did that, I don't know. But I managed to change those the correct way up before the model was done, so I had to take those off and redo them. And I'm going to get 2 or 3 other insects as well. You've got, they've got scorpions, spiders. You've got other kind of small creepy crawly, the bug class if you like, that you can put together, and I can put those into a diorama. So there's my little praying mantis. Then I moved on to the right flyer. Here he is. Again, he's not painted, he's just stayed silver. This is normally how you find them, in the silver like this. Again, I made him flying. Not a very good base. It was just some parts of the leftover sheet, which I stuck down there, and stuck those inside the resin pour. And on top of the resin, you can buy these little desert scenes, and I stuck that on top. Again, a little bit more intricate. You've got the 2 propellers. You can see you've got the engine in there. You've got the surfaces. You've got the tail surfaces, etc. And you can see he's actually just sloping up, ready to soar away. So again, small skills were slightly increasing, but again, a nice little step up from the insects. Now, the Wells Fargo Stagecoach is quite a challenge. It's a little bit more difficult. You've got a lot of very fine parts down here. Each of these pieces of luggage have to be made separately. It actually came pre-etched, color etched, so I didn't need to do any coloration down here. And it was actually not as difficult to build as I thought it was going to be. I made the door a little open to give it some dynamic effect, and all these little window coverings down here can fold up and down. You've got little pieces down here. You've got the cushions where the driver could sit on, etc. The wheels weren't too bad. You built a proper chassis, and then you put the frame on top of the chassis, and it's very well detailed. You've actually got little buckles that go over the luggage flaps down here at the back. And I just left it with a plain base, which I didn't want to take away from such an intricate, beautiful model. So it's just on a plain base. I'm sure you all recognize this. This, of course, is Moby Dick. You've got the old white whale down here, and you've got the ship. Goodness, I can't remember the name of the ship. I'll have to look that up. Is it the Pequod or something? I can't remember. But you've got the little harpoonist right in the front down there, who's trying to harpoon Moby Dick. Moby Dick, of course, was the book by Herbert Melville, and you've got the book down here. So it's a very interesting diorama. Each of these little waves I painted, of course, and I painted the base that they were on. I gave little white crests to the wave, and I made the book in gold, together with some white on the edging down there, because it's obviously a super book if you've ever read it. And the whole book is slightly cantilevered upwards. Everything is 100% colored painted, but the actual sails came out pretty good. I wanted to get the kind of the canvas look, so it was kind of a dirty white, not white and not tan, kind of a mix of the two, and you spread it on together and it came out quite well. You got the little red flags on the top down here, and the harpoonist actually has 3 colors. He's got black boots, the red top, and the white of his hands and face. So again, just a plain blue sea on the outside. There's more than enough action going on the inside. I didn't want to overdo that down there. So that's good. Again, I got the mix wrong. It's a little flexible down here. If you're going to mix resin pours, you really want to have a weighing machine that measures the nearest gram, and make sure you get the proportions between the hardener and the resin exactly correct to the nearest fraction of a gram. My weighing machine has not yet come in, waiting for that. That's why some of these came out a little flexible, but that's okay. They're not going anywhere, they're just staying there. The next one was Tower Bridge. Not London Bridge. London Bridge is actually a very plain, boring affair. It's one of the oldest bridges in London. The original London Bridge was over 2,000 years old, built in Roman times, and I believe they found the piles there recently. But this is the last main bridge that crosses the Thames before you get to the main estuary, where it's too wide to have a bridge, and the open sea just before you get to London docks. So this lower deck actually opens up in real life. I've never actually seen it happen, but it opens up to let the larger ships go through. And this wasn't too bad. There's a little fiddly with some of these little corner towers down here with the tabs going in, but as you can see, each of these windows has been painted. We've got some gold coloring at the top. We've got the black roofs, the little red crown down there, and you've got the roads that go out down here. I've been over this bridge several times myself. It's a lovely old bridge to go over. It's still there, of course, and always will be. And this is kind of a historic piece. We've got the standard blue water down here represented. This again is just ordinary clear silicone that's dried, and I mixed a bit of white paint in order for the frothy. This can get very powerful, the water down here, when it flows in and out down here, because this is kind of a relatively narrow section of the Thames, which is why they put this old bridge here just opposite the Tower of London. And so the water does rush down here pretty quick when it goes in and when it goes out. So I've got a little bit of white foam again. That's just ordinary white paint mixed in with the silicone. If I do this one again and do a new diorama of it, then I've got the proper water effects and the foam effects materials in now, that I'm doing a much better job. Again, this is all about expanding your skills and just enjoying yourself. So the fact that it doesn't look 100% realistic, that's fine. I'm not worried about that, because I've been doing this 2 weeks, so give me a little bit of latitude, and my skills are going to get a lot better. But this is for me in my retirement, and if I can enjoy it, then frankly that's all that matters. And the whole idea of these videos is to help inspire you maybe to do something for yourselves. And it doesn't matter how good or bad it is, it matters that you have fun, you're creative, you're keeping busy, your mental agility and your dexterity is going to help you. I've got one more model to show you. I take that back, I've actually got 2 models to show you. This is my lighthouse, and anyone who knows lighthouses is going to know immediately that there's something wrong. Anyone can tell? Yep, it's actually turned 180 degrees in the wrong direction. The actual entrance to the lighthouse would never be facing the water. Obviously it would be away, but I figured if I'm going to have this facing the front, I might as well put this facing the front and turn it the wrong way around. The water effects came out pretty badly on this. Again, some white water and again just some clear silicone. There was actually some pebbles which I had. I'll probably put a few more pebbles up there because I just had to put some brown paint on there, and it really destroyed it. It looks terrible now. Instead of the rocks that you'd normally have in front of the front of your lighthouse, the natural rocks, the big rocks. But other than that, I'm going to be improving this one a little bit later on. It hasn't come out too badly. I've kind of highlighted the windows, and I've got a little red top down here and a little gold on the very crown. And that's not a bad little model. Again, it needs a little bit of updating and modernizing to put some better rocks down there. Now this is my Cessna 172 float plane, and I decided, how am I going to make this thing creative? I could just sit it on the water like it's just resting there, but I decided to make it like it's taking off, because this is quite a good little model. It's a bit more difficult than it actually seems. I thought this would be real simple, but it's not. I should have molded the upper wing going over, so there's a bit of pressure difference on the top, but this really shouldn't be here. I should have molded that a little better. So a lot of mistakes were made with this model. This curvature down here, difficult to get the actual tabs into the slots. And of course I painted this, mostly this was silver with a little bit of red edging, but I painted it red to give it some more definition, just make it stand out from the blue. Again, the blue is simply a blue base of resin. In this case, not too bad. It's set very solid. And I've got the white weight, which is again just ordinary acrylic white mixed in with the acrylic, which is fine for now, but when I get this done, next time I'll be putting in the water effects. You can see that it's actually got some flaps down here, which is what the pilot would have down when he's taking off from the water, and the elevators are slightly up, but the flaps are slightly down, and that would lift him off from the surface of the lane and go down anyway. Hope you like this. Hope you found it a little bit inspiring, and I'll let you know how I get on with this, and we'll do another